Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking at how to make a YouTube subscriber counter. Okay, so this subscriber counter uses a 7-segment LCD display as well as an ESP8266. These things can be picked up fairly cheaply on Amazon, and I'll leave links down in the description as to where you can pick these things up. But let's get started with looking at the software and the coding that we need to do to get this up and running. Okay, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and download the Arduino IDE. To do that, we'll head over to the Arduino website. I'll leave a link direct to the download page in the description. So we're going to go to software and downloads. And here I'm using Windows, so we're going to go ahead and download the Windows installer. If you can contribute, please do so. Arduino is open source. I have contributed in the past, but for now I'm just going to download. And that will start to download, and we'll come back once that's finished. Okay, now that's finished downloading, we're going to go ahead and click to open the installer. And this is just like downloading any other piece of software. We're just going to go through the install process, just clicking yes and next. So we'll come back once the install has finished. Okay, so now the install process is complete, so we can go ahead and close that. And on our desktop here we have the Arduino icon. We can go ahead and click on that, and that'll open up the IDE. This might take a little while on the first time because it is making some repositories. But we'll click allow access here. And here we go, this is what the Arduino IDE looks like when you first boot into it. Now we're going to have to make some changes in here so we can use the Arduino IDE to flash our ESP8266 chips. Okay, so next we're going to head up over to File and Preferences. And in here, in this box it says Additional Board Manager URL. I am just going to paste this link here. This link will be in the video description as well. That's not quite copied right. It should just be that. Yeah, that looks good. Just going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go to Tools, Board, and Boards Manager. And in the field at the top, we're going to search for ESP8266, and you can see here we've got the board package for the ESP8266. Now I'm not going to download the latest version. Basically, there's some compatibility issues with the latest version and some of the libraries we're going to use. So here I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select version 2.4.1. I'm just going to double check that's the one I want. No, it's not. Apologies, it's 2.4.2 that we want. And go ahead and click install. Now that might take a little while to install, so just pause here and we'll come back once it's done. Okay, once that's completed, if we go back to Tools and Board, we can see we've got a lot more options in here now when we have the generic ESP8266 module, as well as the Node MCU and the D1 Mini, as well as a lot of others. The next thing we want to do is to download some libraries. So we're going to go Tools, apologies, sketch, include library, and manage libraries. Okay, first library we're going to go and fetch is the YouTube API. So we're just going to type in YouTube. And it's this one here, YouTube API. We're going to click install. Okay, that's done, and we can see here it says that it's now installed. The next library that we're going to go and find is the TM1637. And it's I believe it's this one here. This one by Groove for Digital Display. We'll give that one a try, but if not, it might be this one. I can't quite remember. We'll install this one. The next one is the Arduino JSON file. Which is this one here. Now, the version I think we need is any of the version 5s to be compatible with the other libraries that we have. I believe the version 6 isn't compatible. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose 5.9. Try that again. And click install. Okay, that should be all of the libraries we need. So because we've added new boards and we've added new libraries, I'm going to go ahead and restart the Arduino IDE, and we'll come back once that is done. Okay, while we're waiting for the IDE to restart, you can head over to my GitHub repository that I will leave a link for in the description. And you can go ahead and download the zip file for the Arduino code for this project. Okay, once we have the code for this project downloaded, go ahead and open it up, and the first thing we're going to do is compile it to make sure that we've got all the right libraries and so on. But to do that first, we're going to make some changes in here. So for this project, we're using Node MCU. So we'll go ahead and change that. And then we'll just check the rest of this information is correct. It is looking good. We don't have a port because I don't have it plugged in. But we'll go ahead and verify. And it asks us to save it first, which we can go ahead and do. And then that's just having a little think about it. This can take a little while sometimes, so we'll pause here. Oh, now there we go. So it hasn't got very far before it's found an error. So let's go ahead and copy this library that we were looking for, and let's go back to include library in library manager. And let's paste this into here. So this is the one we installed earlier. This is when I said I couldn't quite decide which library was the correct one. So let's go ahead and install this one and see if that helps. Okay, so let's go ahead and verify the sketch again. Okay, so here we can see that this sketch has compiled, which means all of the necessary libraries and stuff are there, and the code makes sense. Or at least it makes sense to the ESP8266 that we're going to flash this to. So the next thing we're going to do is, the only thing we need to change here in the sketch is this information here. So this information tells us your Wi-Fi details and also the details about your YouTube channel, so your channel API key and your channel ID. So your Wi-Fi SSID is just the name of your Wi-Fi network that you connect to, and the password is your Wi-Fi password. So you can go ahead and fill those in just as you would connecting any other Wi-Fi device to your network. Okay, our next step is to go and get our API key. To do this, go to the Google API link that I've left down in the description, and once you've signed into your Google account, you'll have a screen like this. Now, if you've never used the Google API service before, this screen will look the same, apart from you won't have select here, you will just have create. So go ahead and click on create, and this will ask you about some details about your project. So just put in your project name, so you could put in YouTube subscriber count, and then you can put a location in and then click create. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click the one that I've already created. And this will have a think about it, but here we go. And you will get a similar screen to this when you make a new service. There just won't be any data in it. Okay, so none of this data will be here. The next thing that we're going to do is click on credentials. Apologies, that's not right. We're going to go ahead and click on libraries, and this will take us into the Google API library. So in here is everything that you can have an API from Google. So we're going to go down here and we're going to go to the YouTube reporting API. We're going to click on that. And then you can see that I've already got this enabled. If you don't, there'll be an option up here to enable this service. Once we've got this enabled, we can go back into the API library and back again. And now we're going to go to credentials. And we can see here that it'll have generated this API key for us. So we can go ahead and copy that API key and go back to our Arduino IDE. And in between the quotation marks, we can just copy in our API key. I'm going to delete some spaces to make this look nice and neat. Okay, our next step is to go and get our YouTube channel ID. So to do that, we'll head over to YouTube and we'll go to settings, advanced settings, and we can see here we have our YouTube channel ID. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that and paste it in between the quotation marks like so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my Wi-Fi username and password details, and then I'll blur those out. I just don't want that being public knowledge particularly, and we'll come back once I've done that. Okay, so now we have all of the information populated in this section here. I've gone ahead and I've plugged the board into the computer. So if we go back to tools, we can see there is now a port that's been recognized here, COM port 4 in my case. So we can go ahead and click on that, and then we're going to click on upload. It'll compile the sketch again because we've made some changes, and then it'll go ahead and try and flash it to the board. Again, I'll speed this part of the video up because this can take a little while. Okay, so we've now got the sketch uploaded. It turns out it wasn't a problem with anything we were doing in the Arduino IDE. It turns out it was a problem with the USB cable I was using. So I've gone ahead and switched that for a brand new one. And you can see I'm uploaded 166 subscribers, which is what I have at the moment. Our setup here is very simple. The display just needs 4 pins, or has 4 pins. One's power, one's ground, and one is clock, and one is display. And they're defined in the sketch. They're defined as pins 4 and 5, but you could change those to anything you want. But as you can see, it's all up and running. This is still plugged in the computer at the moment, but this could be plugged in any power supply. It's worth noting that when you first turn this on, the display shows 0 for about 5 minutes or so before it comes up with the subscriber count. So if you're following along with this, if it shows 0 for the first 5 minutes or so, that's absolutely fine. Just leave it plugged in and eventually it will show your subscriber numbers on the screen. So now I'm going to go ahead and populate all of this onto a PCB and make it look a bit more like a finished product. Okay, so here we have the counter mounted onto a PCB. You can see on the back here I have the Node MCU itself, and then the display on the front. I've kind of just super glued the display onto the pins from the Node MCU. It's not the most elegant of solution at all, but my eventual plan is to make an enclosure for this. That may well be 3D printed, or I do have some project boxes as well that I could possibly mount this into. I have added some LEDs here. The plan was to have one as a power LED and one to flash when the subscriber count goes up. However, I've kind of abandoned that plan for now. It might be something I'll add in the future. So there we have it, all up and running, 166 subscribers. This is going to sit on my desk, so if you'd like to see that number go up, then please do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Subscriptions mean a lot to the channel. And yeah, go ahead and like and comment as well. And thank you for watching.